Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get airborne with our AR, Accelerated Retirement, and our weekly debrief. Man, what an interesting week it's been, even though it's this holiday, which would be Christmas, shortened week. A lot going on and a lot of discussion about direction and where we're going to be heading. Actually, going to go for about 45 minutes today because I got to go down to the other hangar where the other jet is, get some gas. And we're going to take a 3-ship flying a light division. We're going to go meet Orestes over Lake Okeechobee, go beat the hell out of him. I think we're going to get some lunch on the west coast of Florida, and then launch again and dogfight a little bit, and then come back, land here in Pompano. I got my son Matthew in the trunk, so that should be fun. Long Amazon covered-ish. Did some good work selling some short calls. Got out of those 33.75s. I got out of yesterday perfectly as the FTC news, which we'll talk about, broke and Amazon kind of sold off right down at 33.75. I got out, lost, quote unquote, about $4,000, but I've made about 10 so far on the other short calls. So net, 6 or so on Amazon so far. Tesla covered. I think those shares are going to get called away. Elon said he's done selling stock, and then he's not. So he's selling more, but buying some options and some stuff going on with Elon. But Elon is Elon. What a great Babylon bee. Yeah, exactly. Oh no, whiz to fly. Get ready, man. I'm warning you. so, uh, Elon's kind of all over the place with what he's doing, which is pretty interesting. So we'll see what's going on. Let me open up these calls here. I need Amazon to stay right where it is today. 33.25 would be perfect the rest of the day. Okay. Debrief. We laughed this week about the Department of Defense getting twisted into a pretzel over about 100 dudes and maybe ladies. I don't know. Extremism in the military. That's the number one threat, according to Lloyd Austin and General Woke Milley. Not China, not Russia, not hypersonic missiles, not tic-tac objects that defy all aerodynamics flying around our military shit. Those aren't our most important threats. It's extremism in the military. Anyway, so that's complete bullshit. New York Times this week. New York Times, not the Wall Street Journal, just unloaded on Obama and his most precise air campaign in history. It was pretty precise. It killed a lot of civilians. So that not the best week for the United States military or our country, to be honest with you, with just a cranky old man as president yelling at everybody. If you're vaccinated, have a Merry Christmas. If not, you're going to die. You're a murderer. That's leadership to our country today, is just yelling at people and being angry. And then Jen Psaki, and then the White House Chief of Staff doing a victory lap yesterday. We saved Christmas. There are no. You ready for this? No, they didn't. Here's my beautiful bride, Susie, this morning. I guess she can see Jack's, of course, hopefully we can see his credit card or debit card or whatever. She's like, oh, Jack, she got an alert from Amazon that Jack ordered her a Snuggie, right? And it's not going to come in for another week. So here's Susie today. She's going to drive to the Boca Mall. She's going to buy a Snuggie. Then she's going to put it in an Amazon box and wrap it, and then tell Jack it came for him. And when the other one comes, she's just going to keep that one too and hide it. But then she just called me on the way to the airport. She's like, I called Beth and Bianca. She's like, I got to drive to Miami because there's none like up. I'm like, oh my God, that's dedication as a mom, as a parent. Matthew and I just stopped at Wawa. Yes, that's the name of a place. Wawa. Wawa. We stopped at Wawa, huge chain, because it's our tradition. If we're going flying, we stop at Wawa and get breakfast burritos. I mean, sausage, bacon, jalapenos, salsa. They put hash browns in it. I mean, it's tradition. We're going flying in the jets. We eat breakfast burritos. I go into Wawa this morning. We don't have eggs. I'm like, what? We don't have eggs. Sorry. Let's go, Brandon. So Jen Psaki yesterday at the lectern, like, we saved Christmas. Yay. And she actually did yay. Yay. Just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. I'm seeing supply chain. Susie saw, of course, I have to watch all this shit because I trade and watch carry for you guys. And she's like, what did she tunes all that shit out because you think I'm bad. She wants to climb through the TV and kill people. She's like, oh my God, I just got back from the store. There's nothing on the shelves. I needed this. I didn't do that. I mean, it is like awful. So just the fact that, and he yelled at us again yesterday. Did you see him? He was on the fake White House set. It's weird. This White House is weird. Instead of sitting in the Oval Office, they carted him across the street to a studio that has an Oval Office. And did you see what was behind him in the fake picture? I mean, because do we really believe that Joe Biden is in LA? Behind him were like container ships, like a port. It's fake. What is this, like the Jimmy Fallon show? And he's like, and he leaned forward and again yelled at us, like, there are no supply chain issues. Oh my God, he's right. There aren't. These aren't the droids you're looking for. I guess you solved the supply chain issues. Another example of our government lying to us when we know the truth. And it's so funny, the idiots in the Beltway, man, that just sit there and look at each other like, why doesn't America believe us? What? Because you lie. Take this vaccine, put it in your arm, and shut up. Can I see some data? Yeah, in 55 years, Wiz, when you're dead. Okay, let me get at least 4 of those things that I can't see the data on for 55 years. Anyway, so there's your debrief from the week. How about the World Health Organization, which works for China? No country can boost its way out. The World Health Organization actually warned Biden yesterday, like, your plan is most likely making this worse. What? Yeah. Again, this would have been breaking news under Donald. Breaking news: the World Health Organization says Donald Trump's plan will kill more people and prolong the pandemic. Impeach. The World Health Organization says this to Biden. Not a word. I'm like, what is this? Not breaking? Let me go over to MSNBC and see. And not a word. The World Health Organization says Sage expressed concern that broad-based admin of boosters risks exasperating vaccine access by diverting blah, 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 blah. But blanket booster programs are likely to prolong the pandemic rather than ending it. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe the World Health Organization says, but they're contradicting what the president is doing. Dr. Tedros, which you guys know I just think should have been fired a year ago. Unbelievable. No country can boost its way out of the pandemic. So here we are. Again, driving here. It's 60-some degrees. The Jets are going to perform perfectly. I was going to cancel, but I didn't because I love you guys. We were going to fly early. We were going to do I guess we could have done that. I like my sleep, though. I mean, the early morning goes here in South Florida when it's in the 60s. The Jets just leap off the runway. But I love living in Florida. I'm heartbroken for my mom. I was going to see my mom next week, and she's like, your sister and my cancer, and you can't even go anywhere in New York, Matthew. You're not vaccinated. My mom really, I mean, I love my mom, obviously, but she's really been, but I get it. The woman has cancer again. Uh, but having to crash at my sister's place while she does cancer treatment in New York, and then going to my other sister's place outside of Philly, where she really, really lives. Both of them are kind of Branch Covidians. I mean, it's a perfect example of the shit just tears apart families. I mean, I don't know. I've had countless guys text. One of my buddies, Spider S16 guy, he's in our Max Afterburner group, runs a venture capitalist firm. He's had at least 2 Viper buddies who are airline guys get the shot and drop dead in 3 days. Pulmonary embolism, and I mean, healthy, normal dudes. We've seen all these European soccer players that had to go through the COVID shot protocol, and a bunch of them died and got sick, and they're all like, it's coincidence. After you've done the journey I've done, there is no such thing as coincidence. It doesn't exist, folks. I've seen the universe and the way it works, and there ain't no coincidence. Kathy, I said that. I'm like, I'll do a rapid. I did that last time. I wore a mask with my mom and all sorts of shit. But the rest of my family going, if you go up there and she gets sick and dies, you killed her, type of shit. I'm like, and then you get the feeling that you're being selfish, right? Like, why don't you just get this? You could kill mom. I'm like, oh my God, how selfish can you be? I'm like, hey, you remember what Dad used to say? Nobody makes it out alive. Everybody who got vaccinated for the Spanish flu is dead. But anyway, oh my God, Eric, my ex-stepdad and his wife both had heart attacks after the jab. Hold on 1 second. Got to open the door for the brief. Hold on. Hey, bud. That's right. I saw you come up. These guys don't mind. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's get going. So what are we doing here? They recovered, but still, yeah. The fact that they had to recover, quote unquote, from something that was self-induced is just, I mean, guys, help me out with, you need 55 years to give you the data on this thing. I don't know, man. So where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is like a centuplet top. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're either going to, I mean, today is a low volume day. I get that the market's open. Market's closed tomorrow, not bonds, no nothing. We might get the end of the year Christmas rally, last week and a half of the year. And like, this is what it looks like. I drew this yesterday. It looks like this halfway through January and then that. That is what I'm guaranteeing. Okay. So we might have some enjoyable in here, but get ready, man. And I'm going to share with you some great intel I read last night that's really, really, really good. Okay. So stocks, earlier this week, excuse me, it really was funny that even the Wall Street Journal falls suspect to this. Usually it's CNBC, but Monday it was what? Stocks implode on Omicron. Tuesday, stocks not implode on Omicron. So we didn't fix Omicron overnight, but when you read the headlines, it would suppose. I'm telling you guys, the big one, and I'll share. We're going to step through this article in a couple seconds because it's everything I say, but nicer and cooler. The Powell put, the Jerome Powell Federal Reserve put, is still under this market. It's at a lower strike. That should make sense to everybody in this room because we all trade options. The Powell put, he said it a week and a half ago or a week ago, whenever it was. He said what? He mentioned the word equities. Like, this ain't my first rodeo. I've crashed the market before. and I'm probably not going to do that again. So if we get super freaked, I'll come rescue you. That's my translation from listening to the guy. So the PAL put is still valid. It's just a lower strike. Does that make sense? That's exactly what we yeah, exactly, Goose. So how about today? The Fed's favorite inflation indicator, 40-year highs. Consumer spending came out today. How was it? Well, let's go to the tape. What's today? Thursday. All right, so PCE, this is the Fed's, that's it, up. Durable goods, okay. Durable goods, core durable goods, remember whenever you see the word core, it means X something, right? X autos, X food and energy, X something. This is transportation items, right? On the core durable goods. Personal income, flat. Personal spending, flat. Not the best. The macroeconomic data on this page are not good, and weekly claims up a little bit. None of this is good on here. So the Fed uses PCE, man. So you ready? Analysts nailed it for once with both income and spending flat and inflation up. Folks, this is a cauldron of bad. Okay. So we talked yesterday about the 3 cases. Thanks for that. I got a couple emails, got some texts like, dude, that was your best brief ever. I'm like, wow. So I actually kept that one public on the YouTube page. I'm like, the 3 potential cases for next year. We did that yesterday, right? And then I hung out, and this came out. And because men lie, numbers don't, this was last night at 8. So we did our brief a long time before this guy. So 4 big surprises and lots of pain. Okay. So remember about a month ago, folks, in November, all the Wall Street banks had just come out with their glowing year ahead outlooks and market forecasts. What did I do? I'm like, they're all wrong. Joe Biden's sophomore year will be an absolute shit show, recession and bear market, minimum of 20% down in equities, if not worse. Oh. Then what happened? The arrival of a new COVID strain threw everybody for a loop. One which would only get much worse a few weeks later when Biden's Build Back Better stimulus collapsed. They are excruciating mansion. I love it. And I love the civics lessons all these idiot Democrats are getting. One guy can, in the Senate, he represents his constituents. Kind of like Elon Omar represents hers, because she doesn't represent me. A United States senator goes from their state. The term United States in front of their title, United States Senator, just means that they are in the Senate, right? United States Congressman means you're in the Congress, but you represent the 26th district of Palm Beach or something like that. People are dumb. All right, so hang with me, because one of the best write-ups for next year. I mumbled for an hour yesterday, and you guys said it was a great brief. This guy either listened to ours and made it better, or just is a member. So, yeah, exactly, Eric. They fail to mention that, right? It's 51 senators, not 1 senator. They came in here thinking they had this massive mandate. Only a Democrat would think like that. A Republican or an independent would come in like, woo, squeaky majority, this country's divided, let's kind of govern from the middle, instead of let's go full retard. Let's go insane progressive, because that's what the country wants. What? What? Yeah, Goose, they even released that the other day. Manchin leaked it. His team leaked it, apparently, because everybody's like, we didn't know this. And it's like, here's my signature and Chuck Schumer like 9 months ago saying, I'm not doing anything other than this. We're shocked. You ready? So, all this stuff here, as a reminder, 2 weeks ago, this guy, very good. He's Albert Ed. He's a SocGen dude. He's got a doomsday forecast about, I love how he calls these the market leading generals. We call them fagums, right? If you just rearrange those letters, it's fagums. I can't pronounce FAMIGs. No. So now it's changed to gamma stocks. Why? because F is not Facebook anymore. It is Meta. So gamma stocks, Google, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Apple. These are the generals of the markets, warning that despite the sharply declining earning per shares of the broader IT sector, folks, remember, underneath the generals, the troops are rotten. The gammas continue to trade at a nosebleed PE valuation at 30 times. I think Amazon, folks, is like 60 times. The past 2 days, Josh Brown, 2 days in a row, Josh Brown on CNBC has pumped Amazon like you wouldn't believe. He was on the closing bell yesterday. Right here, Josh Brown starts saying Amazon's insane. If you don't own Amazon, you're retarded. The thing went up $25. The day before, he did it right here. Everybody's seen this in the past 2 days. Josh Brown's like, Amazon, he did everything but stopped short of calling it the Death Star. He's like, they're destroying everything. So, and we'll talk about this yesterday. This is where I got out of my 3370 calls. And only guys at cocktail parties do this, and me sitting in the hangar do this. I got out literally right there when that thing imploded. And we'll talk about why in a couple minutes, but nailed it. Thanks, Wiz. And then I put some 3325s on, which are looking pretty good right now. But here's why I'm ranting about that, because downtown Josh Brown said what yesterday? I think it's a 60. So, yeah, he's a Long Island guy. He's a good dude. Met him once, drinks. I mean, you can tell he's the type of guy, like, if he really, really doesn't know you, he just kind of gives you, hey, what's up? But if you get to know him, he's probably a really, really good dude. So you ready for this? Amazon's up at 60 or whatever, which looks vulnerable. The market, the S&P 500, PE is 22. This is the widest gap since when? Let's party like it's 1909. This is happening just as forward IT PEs are starting to re-rate lower. Look at this chart. Wow. Okay. So let's go on. I love this. This is one of the best things I've read in years. Okay. So hang on, because this is a better chart. Where is it? Albert summarizes the current market state as follows. As we end the year, markets are becoming increasingly nervous that U.S. equities and the tech sector are having the rug pulled out from under them. Market internals are also giving out loud warnings, just as 2001. Could the unraveling of the recent tech bubble trigger the vortex of debility that destroys all before it? Okay. Picking up on his recent warning, he writes that the U.S. tech sector has so dominated this bull market in one form, the IT sector, or another, the FANGs, seems to be pretty invulnerable in the face of some major threats it is now facing. But we have seen a similar vortex of debility before, most recently just ahead of the Lehman bankruptcy and written up here. So how does this play into the SocGen year ahead forecast? Here we go. It's that time of the year when strategists publish huge tomes to give their year ahead views. Readers will be relieved to know that I can summarize my 22 outlook in a few lines and 4 surprises. The first big surprise, equity markets will startle most investors when they fall sharply as U.S. tech unravels in the first half. Absolutely. Presenting a slightly different chart from the one I just showed you, Edwards then addressed the elephant in the room, the gammas, and writes that unsupported by earnings growth and poor market breadth underneath it, the privates in the trenches, it may not be higher bond yields that burst this bubble. Look at this, folks. Look at this. Here's the IT sector trailing earnings per share. There's the expansion. Here's where they are. That floating on air, the U.S. tech sector is having its earnings support withdrawn. This is going to happen, guys. Okay. I hate this pop-up blocker. So, where is it? All right, we just looked at that. Yep, here we go. Mike Wilson, last guy, from Morgan Stanley. The second surprise for next year, if an all-out equity bear market unfolds, investors will find that while the Powell put still exists, the strike price may be a lot lower for equities than it was at the end of 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, that makes sense. How do we know the put is still there? The dude said it. He's like, well, I kind of know equities and I don't want to really, really super scare people. But he had two chances to go Omicron, ooga booga booga. I'm not doing any of this. He didn't. He said twice in a row in like 2 weeks, he said, oh my God, inflation ain't transitory. I'm going to taper. Matter of fact, I'm doubling the taper, and we're probably going to have to raise some rates. But his most recent thing was equities. So, you ready? If we had to guess, it's down 20% rather than 10, meaning if the market implodes in the old Fed, where inflation wasn't super raging and they had all this liquidity going on, if the market imploded about 5 to 10%, Jerome Powell came out and soothed or started goosing it with some money. Instead, it's down to 20%. I think Jerome might step in if we implode to 20. I think they're going to say 10. So it's down 20% rather than 10% unless credit markets or economic data really start to wobble. Why? Because policymakers globally understand that QE creates many problems, mainly distributional, as it solves. Oh my God, Wiz, didn't you say the exact same words at the Options News Network in 2008, 2009, when the Fed first stepped in to save capitalism? Yes, I did. Thank you for remembering that. I said this. He then asked a rhetorical question. Would the Fed really hold back if the S&P was down 30% plus? And wouldn't that be one huge surprise for investors? Here we disagree with Edwards. It is our view that no matter what, the Fed will always panic when stocks are down 15 to 20%. After all, so much of the U.S. wealth effect and household net worth is now tied to stocks that Powell will not risk an all-out collapse. Translation: when, not if, the big one hits, the Fred Sanford, he will eventually jump in. But maybe this time is truly different. This time, ladies and gentlemen, does the Pope come out and go, I know I told you a couple years ago, hell doesn't exist, hell exists, and enjoy. I'm on my way up. That's right. His third surprise may be, well, the most surprising. He says that easing supply bottlenecks combined with soggy commodity prices to drive U.S. headlines CPI-backed inflation well below 2%. Here, the SocGen skeptic expects current inflation fears to evaporate as H1 unfolds and bond yields to decline sharply. And then his final surprise is China, just absolute shit show. They're going to have to go Jerome Powell on this thing to save this. Guys, you have to go digging deeper. He goes into, so the S&P is dominated by who? The gammas. If the gammas, the five generals go belly up, inevitably so does the whole market. As the floating on air chart above shows, while there have been supportive underlying earnings story, now the sector's become reliant on massive multiple expansion relative to the, look at this, relative to the rest of the market. There's a divergence between tech and value, guys. Look at this. This is the best one yet. You ready? Barely 40% of the Nasdaq 3,000 stocks are above their 200-day. This is a catastrophic breath, which prompted even cheerful Goldman to go, hey, this ain't, look at this. Anybody see this? Nasdaq versus the percentage of members above the 200-day. Holy shit. Here's the generals. Here's the rest of them. Here's the stock military, and here's the command. Ladies and gentlemen, every time in my career I've drawn something like this, lines meet. They don't diverge from ever. This delta right here is it's going to meet, baby, and it ain't going to be pleasant. I guarantee you. So while 2021 has been punctuated by tech wrecks that you bought, the next tech wreck is going to be the big one. It leads him to conclude that the sickly aroma of fear is beginning to invade the nostrils of investors. Certainly, this may be one explanation while real yields remain so low and while implied 5-year inflation expectations in 5 years have begun to slide to 2020 lows, ignoring the 40-year high CPI data. Guys, I'm not going to go through the rest of this. Yeah, I'll give you this link. Read this and then read it again and then read it for the fourth time. For all of my people sitting out here going, Wiz, your 2022 outlook is wrong. I'm bullish. Great. Buy everything. You're bullish for next year? Buy the 5 generals. Remember, let's red team all of this. Remember, the generals make money. Apple, Amazon, Meta, all of them print money. Even if the world starts to end, people are still going to buy stuff on Amazon and put on their Oculus and go sit in the metaverse. I don't get it, but whatever. So this could all be wrong. I don't think it's wrong. I think it's absolutely shacked. I think this is nailed. So having said that, folks, I'm not starting spreading the news. You need to, if we get something like this, if we get a Christmas rally to January, hey, yay, new calendar, new year, everything's awesome, get out. I'm getting out right about there. I don't care. I'm not going to repeat everything from yesterday. I have zero FOMO. I am at absolute peace. I have no problems with sitting here in February going, wow, the market went up. I'm okay. Wow, the market went down. I'm okay. Right? So you have to decide. But sitting on the couch last night, I looked at the time. I was watching Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation. My son Jack had never seen that movie. I'm like, you got to see Clark Griswold. That was my dad. And I'm on the couch. I'm like, that son of a bitch. Who is this? Who stole most of my content? Now, just because somebody agrees with you doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? So, yeah, exactly, Goose. This ain't any surprise to any of us. But it was just to see it. You guys know me. I'm the type of guy that would rather click record and sit here and talk than, John Thomas, buddy of mine, he sits like for hours at night typing. I'm like, you ever hear of like talking and like an internet? And I have zero interest to sit here and type and insert charts. This is how I operate. I'd rather get my teeth drilled than do anything like that. But when I sat there and read all that stuff, I'm like, wow. Wow, the Russell's trailing PE is 642. Whoa. CEOs and insiders are selling a record 69 billion of their stock as of the beginning of December, according to CNBC. Guys, what did I show you the other day? I showed you that billionaire chart. All the billionaires since the past 2 years, the billionaires are exiting the market as who's coming in, the retail. No, they can be right. Goose, that is what we defined as the pyramid market at TGO. That's exactly it. Fewer and fewer participants in a narrowing market. As the broader market fades under it, so when the big wobble happens, it's uglier. Yes, you said it the day the Fed stepped in. Exactly. I said it, guys. I'm still looking. They actually removed most of the Options News Network videos from the internet, so I can't use them, which cracks me up. But trust me, I said it. I knew this day was going to come, man. I was in Barack Hussein Obama's state when he was a senator, and his racist, anti-American church he went to. The chickens are coming home to roost. The Federal Reserve chickens are coming home to roost. I think the Powell put, it's a perfect saying, guys. The Powell put still exists. It's a lower strike. So if you think Jerome Powell is going to step in and save capitalism, I agree with you. Okay, good, awesome. But I agree that it ain't here, it's here. I'm pretty damn sure Jerome recognizes where we are now, and it's not good, and he needs to do his job. Right? Everybody good with that? Bruce, you could. We're in accelerated retirement, so we kind of look out on the radar. If you believe, I told you the other day, and I do it on this pop, guys. Look at this. 1, 2. We're like at a quadruple bottom on the Russell. If you think a big one's coming, the Russell will get even more destroyed. But the Qs will also, everything's going to get destroyed. Nothing will be safe, guys. Even the 5 generals are going to get hammered, man, and they're going to get hammered even more. Right? The Nasdaq, you're looking Nasdaq 200 day, right? If Jerome Powell doesn't step in earlier to save capital, I don't think he does, guys. I think the way he's talking lately, it really does make it seem like he's going to do. He's late. You guys know it. I called it a year ago. I'm like, stop. You need to taper and start raising interest rates. Well, we're kind of started thinking about that a year from now. I'm like, you're late. It's too late. Now he's really got to do his job, folks. 2022, I'm telling you. And I lead every time with, I want to be wrong. I want to be sitting here next December going, man, I was stupid about this past year. I love it. I love it. I love being wrong. I won't be. And I'm going to love not being wrong because I'm going to pound the market into the dirt. Right at the apogee, man, the zenith of if we kind of keep this bounce going and it does this, I plan on exiting, being that guy at a cocktail party going, I got out at the top. If I am not, and it does that, then I get back in. This little delta right here, this little gap, there ain't no FOMO for me in there. Like, oh darn, Wiz, you missed out on a couple points to the upside. Okay, great. As opposed to, holy shit, you stayed in here. Yeah, everybody good. So you should have a whiteboard that has what are my bearish stocks? What are my bearish shots of opportunity? This week, up until now, we got about 10 minutes left and I have to go get gas. This week, we've covered what? I covered maybe what's on sale. Since we're in accelerated retirement, we're going to go to this. What's on sale? The only place I'm betting on bullishness is here. Betting on magic. Funding for psychedelic startups reaches a record high. Funding the psychs is on the rise. Wiz, you always say that even in a bear market, money flows somewhere. Money's liquid, pal. Money never sleeps. It's going somewhere. I know exactly where it's going. Goose and I had a great call with a former Navy surgeon who was the senior medical officer on Vinson. He was a squadron flight surgeon. He's in this space. He works with traumatic brain injury at Walter Reed. He knows our GoDaddy billionaire, which Ponch and I are trying to poke around to get in front of that guy to fund No Fallen Heroes. But he's like, this space is exploding. It is on fire. This is the next internet. Guess what? I hate using that analogy. This is 1999. I'm using that in the sense that some of these companies are this is the next area. This is it. It's also 99 in the sense that some of these companies will fail and will be doing the wrong things, right? Give me a vertical head nod. That's why I bought the ETF and not individual stocks. But the top 5 names in the ETF that I bought are the top 5 stocks in the space. So everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand this. This guy's like, look at anybody see a trend in a chart? This is like Amazon. When I went in my solo Amazon briefs, when I show that chart and Amazon does that, this is what will happen in the psychedelic space. You ready for these words? I guarantee you. It is guaranteed. So do it. Get in. This is the only place I'm bullish, folks. I can sit here and go, well, I'm bullish on volatility. Duh. I'm bullish on SDS because it's an inverse ETF. I get the games. The only place I think is going up, meaning in a good way, is the psychedelic space. Yeah, MindMed. Yeah, I'll give you this link. MindMed, all of that stuff, guys. I'm seeing it. We're going to be talking to these companies. Ponch, me, Goose. We are going Axe Capital on this. We're going Axe Capital on this, not to be Axe and be a douche. We are doing this to save lives. But if we can make money in the background, well, freaking duh. That's the win-win. Making money, it's like Doritos. Crunch all you want, we'll make more. Money's money, man. Money used for incredible purposes. Now, I'm not, what's her name? The bald dude or chick or whatever her name is in Axe Capital. Like, we're gonna invest in recycling and ESGs and environmental environments. Saving the environment is great. How about saving people? How about we save people and then with the environment? You can do both. So I'm past all that stuff. I'm in here, right? The fact that, and Ponch and I were talking about this yesterday, big pharma, folks, it has to come in here. If I'm the CEO of Pfizer and, oh, geez, well, let's ride this COVID train for the people already have COVID fatigue. Shep Smith, who I can't stand, went on a rant the other night that he has COVID fatigue. I'm like, welcome to the party, pal. We've had it for a year. Thankfully, in Florida, I don't have it because there is no such thing. People do get sick and die from it. People get sick and die from everything. People are going to have a car accident today. People die. Taylor, exactly. So this thing is this is where you're bullish. I'm sorry, this is where I'm bullish. I don't know where you are. Okay. Yeah, it's called SIL. That's the ETF I got into. PSIL. What's Amazon doing? Perfect. So I have some short calls. Here's what I'm doing. I sold the 3450s the other day. Looks like they're going to expire for max profit. I am going flying. So made $5,800 in these calls. And then I sold these 3425s yesterday, and these could potentially bring in $4,000. So I might do about 10-ish this week in Amazon short calls. Not a massive week, but I do maybe, I don't know, guys. I just, I, it should have leaped already, but I know we've had some other issues around there. Amazon should have already gotten on its horse. It is primed. That's a good looking little stairs. You guys know what I'm about to say if you've been here a while. Amazon don't like being in between moving averages. It doesn't hang. This is Friday, technically. We are in Friday. Wiz to fly Thursday. I'll land before, yeah. I'm going to see what, but this is either going to happen next week or it's this. It's not going to hang. You guys know what the left side of the chart of Amazon looks like, and it's a heart rate monitor. It's not a flat line. It does not flatline for a while. So we'll see. I think usually, so we had an interesting week in this market, obviously. Omicron this and getting yelled at that by Biden. And, this either continues or it doesn't, folks. It's either, after this, I told you I did that and posted it right here. What happened after that? So do we grab that and post it here? I think we do. Okay. No matter what, with the White House and their leadership, Joe Biden's leadership of yelling at you if you're unvaccinated that you're a murderer. Aside from that, people are. I have no idea what's going on outside of my one state. Like, but wow, we canceled our Christmas party, or you have to do a rapid test at the door. I'm like, what? Okay, God bless. And I have no problems with any of that, man. If that's how you want to live your life, live it. Do not force your way of life on me. This country was founded on individual liberty and personal freedom. We came here solo, and then we're like, well, maybe we should kind of get together and have a little bit of government just to kind of do stuff to keep us safe or whatever. All right, limited. We just came from a shit show, man. There was a king that God appointed. No, let's have a limited government. Today, we have massive government. It's in everything. If that's what you want, start your own country that has massive government, open borders, no cops, taxing rich people and penalizing them for their success. You got to watch the Babylon Bee interview with Elon Musk. The dude is, I vote for him for president. I might write in his name. If Donald Trump runs, I'll write in Elon Musk. The dude's a great American. The guy literally his $11 billion in taxes this year. He's the most paying the most taxes ever paid by an American in a year. And I think the metrics were what it takes care of 11 hours of spending by the government in a day. Pocahontas went after him for that. It's awful. So, Sil picked up 5 cents during the brief. That's us. We could move this, guys. Maybe we'll do that next week. I'll buy another 1,000. I got that kind of time and cash. Let's do that next week. Because look at the volume on this thing. I think I bought 2,000, 3,000 shares. I think the day I bought it, it did that. So maybe next week we'll do that. We'll do a pump. We can do that in the Max Afterburner group. When we had like 50 people, when I just did a random survey, I'm like, I'm not telling anybody. Can you let me know how much you're trading? And I have that on an Excel sheet. We had like $32 million with like 50 people. We have like 150 members now. I guarantee you, we probably have, 75 to $100 million in our. That's why it's a hedge fund. I guarantee you, if all of us in the Max Afterburner, and we did this in a full throttle brief, we would move stuff. We did that during the COVID crash, guys. We were moving FXI around. We were doing that a couple days with EWZ. we pushed EWZ around like a piece of yellow gear on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, that's a time. Maybe we'll get back into because with the shit show that's coming, guys, you're going to have to be tactical. Unless you're in the psychedelic space looking that far out, you're going to have to be tactically trading. So maybe it's the COVID crash coming, guys. It's the Biden crash. Let's just label it right now. The Biden crash is coming, and we're going to have to trade it. It's going to be just like we did. This is why we started the investment clubs. They're like, dude, what are you doing on a daily basis? I'm like, let's all start our own club, and we did. Buy, sell, drive the stock up, and sell part with your profit. Werner, we could do that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yep, we did that. Like either in some names that are smaller, 7.5. Yeah, that's okay, volume. But like with EWZ and FXI, we literally move those stocks around some days. It was awesome. We'd all sit there. I'd tell we do this, guys. We do something like this, and we'd all make a good amount of money and get out. That's absolutely 1,000% legal. We can do that. We can all get in. We can all jump in on a name at a time, at a strike, and move the name, and then get out if you want. But we all had to agree. We all had a gentleman and ladies agreement. Like when I say execute, everybody fire, right? And we did. We all put our orders in, and whoop, and we pounded stuff into the dirt too. So, yeah, I haven't. Remember, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. We trade the market we have, not the one we want. So if this is the market that's coming, where we're going to have to be very tactical, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll help you out. All right, guys, I got to go, man. I got to go get gas. Go pull our jet out of the hangar and go get. Yeah, that's what Reddit does, Goose. Goose is exactly right. The Reddit boards, the Wall Street bets, and all those day traders over there, they do this. So we're going to do it. Is that making sense? Awesome, guys. Well, hey, man, Merry Christmas. Everybody have a great Christmas, or if you celebrate winter solstice and go hang around the Festivus pole, have a great Festivus. And I think we have a normal schedule next week. Hopefully we got the Rangers game down here with the Panthers. Hopefully that's not canceled, but you guys enjoy when you're sitting with your family and your friends, unless you're a Branch Covidian and you're locked up inside your house with your face diaper. Even then, hopefully the Spirit of Christ and God is with you. You're never alone. You got us here at Top Gun Options, and I love you guys. So have a Merry Christmas. Remember, the reason for the season, so to speak. It ain't commercial. It's somebody made a massive sacrifice. Somebody did something. Jesus, just incredible. It's an incredible time of the year. So, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless you, and namaste. Fight's on. We're going flying. I'll see you guys later.